So we're going to be playing the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I have played the Ace Attorney trilogy, the first one, not the recent one with Apollo. I plan to play that as well, and I love the Ace Attorney trilogy. It was one of the best experiences. I laughed through the whole game. So that Phoenix is so funny and so relatable. But I'm going to get into this. And I will be taking breaks in between because it's a very voice-heavy game.
After opening its doors, a push for cultural transformation brought great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation.
We're learning history, I guess.
The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital
so.
exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some was swept away by the tide.
Oh. Damn. I love the anime cutscenes. What? Ace Attorney Classic. We
But for one man,
are prosecuted as the
era
criminal
was
even though we
just
didn't
the
do anything.
beginning of an extraordinary story.
Oh god. I think Phoenix has gone through this like 2-3 times by now. The Adventure of the Great Departure, Episode 1. Bienvenue à la Carnival. I don't know French, sorry. 22nd November, 8:43 AM. Supreme Court of Judicature. Defendants, Antechamber 5. I should just wait for it to like autoplay by itself. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe this is happening. How can it be that just beyond the doors to this quiet little chamber is the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate? Fate? Mention fate again. What? Oh, no, nothing. Save your glares, murderer! Sorry. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Isn't Naruhodo like I see? Is it that? Maybe there's something similar. I'm a second year student at the Imperial Yume University. 3 days ago, I somehow find myself in the middle of a horrifying incident. And now, here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough! Oh? He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. And who are you? I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Lawyer? Yes, and until the judge has given his verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you will hold your tongue. Yo! My lawyer is really cool. He's not as cool as... Oh, he's not as cool as Phoenix, but pretty cool. Technicalities. Look at you, you haven't even graduated yet. Also, I'm going to be using my normal voice mostly because I have tried to speak for like while making like different kinds of voices. My limit is like an hour, which I don't want the gameplay to be like an hour. So I need to like I don't know. My throat is I don't have the best condition of throat, so I probably will try to do it normally unless it's a very like a specific character where I want to do like an annoying voice. And yet, I still seem to know better than you how a court officer should behave. Right, Ryunosuke? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. No, what are you apologizing to me for? Oh, I suppose that wasn't my fault. Ryunosuke is just like me. I'm so sorry for no reason. But really, Kazuma. Oh, I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry. Kazuma, isn't Kazuma like Kiryu Kazuma? Yeah, he gives me Kiryu vibes also. Okay, not exactly, but you mean like me. You know what I mean. Ha ha ha! There you go again, apologizing, just like always. Ah. Though I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these past few days. Yume University professor murdered in cold blood by student, but obviously. You didn't actually do it, did you? Of course not, you have to believe me, I didn't do it. I could never murder someone. Then there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up. Hold your head high. You mean... I believe you. I know you're innocent, Ryunosuke. Why am I stuttering so much? Kazuma Usogi, my best friend, also in his second year at Yume University. There's probably some kind of pun in his name, but I can't get it because it's Japanese. I knew Ryunosuke because Naruhodo is such a commonly used thing in anime and games. But he's far more clever than I, a star student in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer, impressive considering he's still an undergraduate. It's not that impressive. Was he talking out loud? The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old, here in Japan anyway. My qualifications don't mean much, yet. It's exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma. Truly. 3 days ago. Yes, that's when all this started. Ace Attorney Classic. Congratulations, Kazuma. It looks like you're going to get to study abroad at last. I know, I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and successes in court. So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you and proud as your friend. There's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend. It's like there's some mysterious aura billowing around his temple. I want to bring about change in our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean to see the real thing with my own eyes. In the heart of the British Empire. I wish I could see it too, the British. They're always around when you don't even want them to be around. Then come with me. Let's have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together. If only it were that simple. Oh dear, look at the time. I'll better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little while longer. Should have gone with him, Ryunosuke. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. Oh, I don't know. I feel like... I don't know. I get a bad feeling. But straight after that, that's when it happened. I was accused of murder. Asogi, may I have a word? Ooh? Ooh, the girl is very cute. Professor, I didn't know you were coming. Well, this case has personal significance to me. But never mind that for now. Asogi, you should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To His Excellency's chambers? Why? He was looking for you before. Your advocating for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. It seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. Who is this man? I feel as though I've seen him at university before. He's a professor, as they say in the dialogue box. I see. I'll go at once then. I shall accompany you. Alright then, Ryunosuke, I'll see you in the courtroom. Yes, thanks, Kazuma. Who is the girl? Professor? So awkward. I didn't even have to. He didn't even have to do the dialogue. I just did it. Oh my god. Why is me and Ryunosuke so similar? If I may. Yes, sorry. You must be the defendant. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes, that's right. My name is Eugene Mikotoba. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yume University. Ah, Professor Mikotoba! I've heard that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad. Asogi has told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. As such, I feel you should know. Know what? Well, as you've no doubt heard, Asogi has been granted permission to go and study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that permission will be revoked and never granted again. Oh no! This is why we have to defend ourselves. What? Ah, as I suspected, you were unaware of this. I had a feeling Asogi may have chosen not to tell you. He's agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered. But I don't understand, why would the government do such a thing? The government. Why do you even trust the government? The administration has to choose from a large number of applicants for overseas study. Very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable of circumstances. I don't believe it. But I didn't do it, I swear it. I'm not a murderer. I'm sure that's true. Nevertheless, I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. Am I also studying as a lawyer? Or am I just a rando student with some other course I'm pursuing? See, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Oh? Sorry, what do you mean? You'll soon understand once proceedings get underway. Oh shit. But then what should I do? Well... naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Right, so... as soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. Or he's probably going to be like, are you? Who's going to be defending me? Defending you, defendant Ryunosuke? And before Asogi says something else, I'll be like, it's me, I do. But what will the question be? Surely not to accept the accusations brought before you? No, it's... bro. I always think about the worst possible situation. Of course not. Defendant! Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. It would seem our surreptitious discussions are to be cut short. Allow me to summarize. Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as the defendant, the final decision is yours. What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appear? Get moving. There's no point in anyone advocating for the likes of you anyway. Bro, at least learn the facts, dude. This is it. If this trial goes badly, Kazuma's dreams of studying abroad are over. And what's more, my life is over. I'll be found guilty of murder. And so, with absolutely no idea what lay ahead, I embarked on the unforgettable trial that changed the course of my life. That's probably it. My one and only chance of proving my innocence. The trial that would decide my destiny. Yay, that was cool. 22nd November, 9 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature. Courtroom 2. God, look at that hairband just flying off. And look at Ryunosuke with his eyes. God. So me, dude. So this is a courtroom. Ooh, this is interesting. Supreme Court of Judicature. No court in the land has more power. I don't much like the look of those people sitting in the public gallery. Lots of military and other uniforms in there. The powers that be have demanded that this be a secret trial. Whoa! Secret trial? A trial that's close to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend. What? But why? It'll become clear in time. But for now, you need to concentrate, Ryunosuke. It's about to begin. Oh! Isn't that Winston Payne or something? Something Payne. Also the judge. This judge looks so cool. The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Ouchie, oh. Ouchie. Is it like ouchie, like ouch? See that? He has an annoying voice. But I don't want to destroy my throat. Should I do it? Should I do it? I don't know. The prosecution is ready, Your Excellence. Okay, no. Actually, no. I'm already getting a no. I'm gonna do it normally. Prosecution is ready, Your Excellency. I'll do the annoying voice more. As is the defense. Before we begin, there's one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. Normal procedures for the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I am obliged to ask for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? It's me, me. This is it. This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's the question the professor meant. But then, if I say I do, then I'll probably have to defend myself. I need to answer quickly. What should I do? Answer I do! Excellently, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here beside the defendant, I hope it's clear who will advocate for his defense. Yes! What is the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself. You'll be... What? What are you playing at, Ryunosuke? Professor Mikotoba told me everything just now, before the trial. He did what? He said that your dreams of studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose. How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off?
Huh?
No, it's not that, really. It's just that, well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you... Yes, I knew that's how you would feel, which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikotoba shouldn't have stuck his nose in. Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial. Well. Does the accused admit defeat already? Renouncing his own counsel. Really? My voice is gonna keep on changing for ouchie. Depends on how my throat is feeling.
Objection!
Objection! Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows that the defendant's innocence is so apparent he's confident he can speak for himself. And Ryunosuke is like, no? Isn't that so, Naruhodo-san? Oh! Yes, exactly! Exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. In fact, my mind's a complete blank. I realize that you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered. Well, for a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court. Oh god, he's annoying in every game, man! You must have perpetrated a most heinous crime indeed. As you are no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of Judicature of Japan. Accordingly, the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo? Yes, Your Excellency. It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken. My competence? What does that mean? He's questioning your ability to do the job. Well, he can't be questioning it more than I am. Let's start with the very simplest of questions. Yes. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I'll care to remember. But, wait. Oh, I'm so nervous I can't even remember that. What was it again? Ryunosuke, have you forgotten the name of the victim? Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank. You know me so well. All the relevant information for this case can be found in the court record. Now you better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the people section of the court record and press Y to present. Right now. The victim is... John H. Wilson. The victim of this case. He was a visiting professor of medicine at Yume University from the British Empire. Oh, because he's a British citizen, that's why it's a special trial. Present! Yes! The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university. Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England invited to Yume University 3 years ago. Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally. And as most of you will be aware, we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations. Can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation. Is this actually a thing? I don't know. And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of Englishman has been spilled on your soil. Spilled on our soil. You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial Oh my god, why am I suffering so much? Imperial Yume University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education. Have you no honor? Shut the fuck up, Pain. Ugh, but I didn't do it. This case is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. And you're a convenient, expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. That's why this trial has these unusual peculiarities, is it? Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. British always giving the people some kind of problem. Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. Fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Oh dear, look at the time. I'll better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Should have gone, man. Should have gone with Kazuma. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. The British Empire. Wow, it's incredible to think. Wait! I've seen that man in university. I'm sure he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still, I should go and say hello. So I went over to the professor's table and introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. How did this Professor of Medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? State before the court the cause of death. The cause of death. Well, obviously that was, Renosuke. Remember that in court, every assertion must be backed up by evidence. By evidence? But how? Find the piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death and select present. Do it now. Okay, death occurred, post-mortem report, death occurred a little after 2 p.m. and was caused by loss of blood from a gunshot to the chest. The bullet did not pass through the victim's body. Okay. Single bullet fired at close range, fatal hemorrhage from pectoral ballistic trauma. No exit wound, bullet did not pass through the body. We got it.
Yes!
Well, according to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma. Learn to read, you imbecile! That's the post-mortem report, I take it. Sorry, yes, that's right. The post-mortem report. In the West, a doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. Well, that's a fucking weird way. Someone could be poisoned, you'll be like, how the fuck did he die? Because he went to sleep. How did he die? We have no clue. My god, that's so dumb. Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of this later. This is a so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime. You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion. In other words, you should assume that the victim was shot at close range. Thank you, Counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into the record. The photographic print of the victim has been entered into the court record. But that's a photographic print. Well, that's something I've never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail is incredible. Very well, I'm satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial. Oh my god. Certainly, Your Excellency. Oh no, I should do the annoying one. So without further ado, in order better apprise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls this first witness who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened. Oh, this is it then. I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? You mean Dr. Mikotoba? Yes, clearly you're the defense lawyer today, not me. But that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. Ah, of course. When he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Kazuma Sogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he? Maybe, but any help you can give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is, rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. Hey man, that's a human reaction, man. I can't do that. Only if you rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first. Who? Waiter guy. Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please. Of course, my name is Satoru Hosonaga. I'm the head waiter at a Western-style restaurant called La Carnival. That's me, man. Oh! I was not expecting the blood to come out. Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some, Damn, man, that cloth must be full of blood. It's a regular occurrence, it really doesn't bother me. Well, it really should. As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants, an Occidental eatery 3 days ago. Understood. Hosonaga-san, you will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident. At once, sir. And no petty interjections from the aspiring lawyer boy, please. Oh, perspiring maybe, but aspiring? It was just after 2 PM on the day in question. We have few diners at that time of day, okay. The lunchtime rush was over and there were only 3 tables still occupied. That fits in with my memory of it too. There was hardly anyone else in the place. It was when I was in the kitchen putting away crockery and cutlery. Pah! A gunshot rang out, so I hurried out to the dining area to see what had happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair, and standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student.
Yes!
Hold on, let me just clarify something here. While I did pick up a gun that I found lying on the floor beside the professor, I didn't shoot him. No, you should never pick up a gun just like that.
Objection!
People are probably going to film you. Also, what was that objection? I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what he saw, you amateur. But... next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you will be penalized. Defendant Naruhodo. Don't worry, Ryunosuke, you'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must just quietly listen to the witness. If I may confirm one point, waiter, standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see here in court today. Yes, without question. I see! And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim? No. There was no one else around the table but the deceased Englishman and the university student. Huh? Wait, what did he just say? There was no one else around that table. What's the matter, Ryunosuke? That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello... Oh, there was a lady. There was a woman sitting opposite him at this table. Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed. I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? Oh, no, I'll wait and see. I desperately want to say something, but I was told not to interject. Rinosuke, if your parents tell you to study, you're the kind of man who would diligently get to work, aren't you? No! I suppose I am. I'll never have gone into Yume University otherwise. But you can't just always follow the rules in life, you know? If you don't say what you want to say right now, you'll seriously regret it when you're found guilty. Alright, you've scared me. I won't forget that piece of advice in a hurry. And there's something I want to say. I'm just gonna shut my eyes and say it.
Yes!
Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table. Objection! Dear me, what are we gonna do with you? With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all? But I'm sure of what I saw. Hosonaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy? Liar. No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. Don't lie! I don't believe this. It's good. It helps me clear the throat whenever he coughs. I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please have a look if you'd like to. Let me see. Ah, a sketch of these establishments layout drawn by yourself, I presume. That's right, I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Don't lie! Why the fuck you lying? Well, you're clearly a very
conscientious.
I'm not gonna say the word. Waiter. Thank you, sir. The court will take the stand and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well... Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. There's something in the card that means. What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now. Something certainly seems to have shaken him. And he's coughing that much. Waiter's business card, the head waiter's business card, the sketch of the restaurant layout is on the back. I'm gonna check it out. So, the court has now heard a process of the case. Yes, at the moment of the gunshot was heard in the restaurant. The only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. No, it's not a black and white case. Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency? If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you. In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of if you inevitable punishment. Oh my god, my brain just stopped for a moment. I call this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. But I must warn the defense if you're determined to pursue matters further in this trial. The prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime. Yeah, whatever. What do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you mean? Well, I'm going to be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? Kazuma's not happy with that thing. Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual about these peculiarities. You've said it, Professor Mikutoba said it, and so has the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw that trust back in my face? Is that it? What? If the accused is in fact innocent, the defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you just going to abandon that duty? Are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Yunosuke. Damn! Defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. And then we'll see how decisive this evidence really is. Damn! Kazuma's killing the prosecution. I mean, ouchie is not that easy to, not that difficult to defeat, to be very honest. Indeed. Prosecution Archie, please continue with proceedings. Well, you were warned. The young can be so reckless. Shut the fuck up. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be. Oh my god, stop. In a few short moments from now, the dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever. The prosecution calls its next witnesses. Very well. Officer, bring forth the witnesses at once. Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for the court. Yes, sir, the great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant. Yes, sir, no, sir. Oh, bro. His name is Yes, sir, no, sir. Oh my god. Reporting for duty, sir. Myself, I find employer the purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the efflorescence of our nation, Nippon, and conduct my trade from Rasatai, a humble premises in the 2nd district. Curio Kurikuta, at your service. Sounds like curious collector, but Japanese. An antique dealer and a soldier. What an unusual pairing. Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question. They must be the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned. Myself, I habitually take tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always post-noon, and not infrequently converse with interested parties regarding the curios with which I make my business. I can't understand a word that old man is saying. He's an antique dealer and it sounds like he's a regular at La Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets La Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'll be a seller rather than a buyer. Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct? Affirmative! The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war, sir. It was that black uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his fireman arm? Sir, what the fuck was that noise? It's a baby noise. This man's as impossible to understand as the other. But I am almost sure I heard a strange noise during the last thing he said. So this is decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Yes. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. I was going to say the same thing. Now, the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred. Sir, yes, sir! Standing by ready to report, sir. What is that baby noise? Is it a baby around somewhere? Unsavory memories of a most acerbic afternoon. So weird, man. I love it though. What the witnesses saw. I was ingesting a regulation beef steak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At the precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's action with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. I was on my hands and knees investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio. Okay, he just said that he shot from the back, but isn't the gunshot in the front? And it said it didn't pass through, so it can't be from the back. Checkmate, you idiot! Yes sir, no sir. Unless there's something else. I guess I have to press him though. Well, so you see, Sergeant Nosa actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim. Yes, sir! Affirmative, sir, that wicked university cadet, sir. The cruel and unforgivable enemy. What times we live in when an English gentleman may be assailed in the broad light of day. That's so beautiful. But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone. That really true, Ryunosuke? Yes, all I did was pick up that gun that I saw lying on the floor. Lesson learned, do not pick up a gun if it's just lying on the floor. Unless you're being attacked. After I said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and started drinking some coffee. Then when I finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant. When I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it. So I bent down and just as I was picking it up, bang! I like this thing. Yeah, well, if that's the truth, there was obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. And somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies is a clue as to who that criminal was. There is? Ryunosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witnesses. Cross-examine? Do it now! As we have heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It's time to bring this despicable student to justice. Certainly, the testimony the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of this trial. Yes! What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? Defense. Demands its right to a cross... Oh my god, I fucked it up. Demands its right to a cross-examination. Dun dun. Dear me, dear me. Let me guess. The Hachimaki headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic. Huh? How did he know? The prosecution objects. It's a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination?
Objection!
The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it is irrelevant. Yeah! Kazuma is so commanding. Oh my god, I'm fucking it up. Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses. Alright, this is where the battle really begins, Ryunosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Let's press them, man. Isn't it obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witnesses' statements. How? You didn't fire the gun, which means what that soldier said has to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's just a case of proving it, and the key to doing that is evidence. Right, evidence. All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. Now let's go, Ryunosuke. Don't let them beat you. Oh god. You're so pathetic, man. Alright then, it's all or nothing. Cross-examination. What the witnesses saw. Okay, then we can press. Let's press.
Yes!
Why? Why aren't you saying anything? Is there some new interrogation technique? I had actually thought of what I want to ask. Just ask about anything that catches your attention. Anything that bothers you. Alright then, this beefsteak you mentioned, what kind of food is that? Tension! Beefsteak is a delicious cut of veal, vigorously cooked on a cast iron grill and served piping hot. Oh. If food could receive medals of honor, beefsteak would be almost as highly decorated as a cutlet. Right, I see. Thank you, sir. So next question. This cutlet you mentioned, what kind of food is that? Tension! Cutlet is a delicious cut of veal tossed in breadcrumbs and deep fried in cooking oil. Accept your guilty verdict, atone for your crimes, and when you're released from prison, try it! Yes, sir, I will, sir. On the double, sir. Sorry to interrupt, but how about trying to stick to questions that are relevant to the case? Oops, sorry. I'll do my best. So, next question. Is it just me, or do you keep hearing a sort of wah crying noise? Negative! Well, at least we've learned that he's a big beef lover. Affirmative. It's not easy knowing what questions to ask. It's already going so well. Okay, now let's press this guy.
Yes!
I have no idea what you're talking about. A Koban boy. A Koban? You mean an old Edo coin? The day prior to the incident, a treasure of exceptional value from the Hoi period entered my possession. I took myself to the restaurant the following day, with said item secreted in my bosom pocket. In the hope of an affluent cognition appraised of its indisputable value being present. Though you were hoping to sell the Koban coin? The Surgeon Nosa whom you met at the restaurant? Yes, it's quite clear where you're going with this, boy. You were about to assert that a penniless soldier would have no hope of purchasing a precious Koban. I wasn't going to say anything. Isn't that so? Well... You little upstart cadet! You want to add disrespecting a superior officer to your list of crimes, do you? Blatant subordination! No, I didn't say anything. Although penniless might be just the word I was looking for. In any case, the hour was already advanced beyond that of the midday luncheon. There remained a precious few present with whom I could engage in discourses about matters of business. The gentleman aside me, who was grappling with his brazen wheel at the time, was my sole prospect. I see. Okay, now let's press this as well.
Yes!
So, you're saying that you actually saw me at the time? Affirmative! I saw you! Laughing, cackling like a madman as you trained the barrel of a gun on the English civilian. Oh my god. But that's impossible! I only... Allow me to confirm just one point, please. What's that, Private? Thinking carefully about the statement you just made, it seems to me that it must have been just after you heard the gunshot that you looked over to the victim's table. And so what if it was? Well, if that really is the case, it would mean that you didn't in fact see the precise moment when the killer actually fired the gun. Damn. And double my sixth sense. Oh, stop with the sixth sense bullshit. Sorry? My sixth sense of danger. I picked up the waves of murderous energy radiating from your foul mind. Which means, a split second before you pulled the trigger, I was looking right at you, cadet. Surely that's not really possible, is it? Do you think I'd have got where I am today in the army if I couldn't sense danger in the air, son? Well... It would seem the soldier is absolutely convinced that he saw you do the deed. This is not good. Okay, this one. This is probably the one where I have to present something. So this black uniform university cadet, you're saying that was... I've had just about enough of your sauce, cadet. Who else do you see around here in black uniform, Well, there's someone standing right next to me who fits the description as well, but... It was you little weasel, and you unloaded the firearm on that man from behind his back, and you call yourself a citizen of the great empire of Nippon? You disgust me. Yep, that's where he's wrong. What is it, Ryunosuke? I'm not quite sure. It's something that the sergeant just said, but I can't put my finger on it. Something's playing on my mind. In that case, check back over the details of the evidence you carry in the court record, and if you find an inconsistency there with what the witness just said, then don't hold back. Present the evidence to the court. Trust in the witness's face and make him choke on it. True. Okay, now let's press this last one and then I will go with the stuff. On your hands and knees, could you explain that, please? That's right, spurning the arthritis, I was ordered to retrieve the lost piece. What lost piece are you referring to, the Koban? The Koban, of course, the exquisite Hui-era Koban coin. Had just been showing the rare treasure to the military man as he masticated his meal. After averting my eyes for the briefest of moments, it was there no more. It simply vanished. The Koban vanished? Hence, I began to acquaint myself with the intricacies of the floor in order to locate it, and then it happened. You heard the gunshot, you mean? None other than, though it was no concern of mine. I was frantically scouring the floor for the aforementioned lost treasure. So in fact, you didn't actually witness the precise moment when the incident occurred. Indeed, myself, I did not. At least he's being honest. Oh, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do here. Listen, Renosuke, we know there are lies lurking in this statement. It's time to expose them. I understand that. The question is, how? Like I said before, the key to this is using evidence that you've collected. Okay, now I can find out where to present. So let's go over here. Yep. From the back, the cowardly little weasel. So let me present. Wait, first let me examine. A magnifying glass. Okay. Can I... He was shot from the front in the chest and subsequently died.
Yes!
Easy. What are you playing at, cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Trusting some photographic print in my mustache. Inconsistency, sir. I mean, yes! Oh my god. The day we hit like a BAM properly, then that would be the day. The clear inconsistency here. What nonsense! What can this print possibly tell you we don't already know? Well, obviously, that, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth. I think this proves beyond a doubt, Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom. Shut the fuck up, Ouchie. Oh, this is so frustrating. Kazuma, can you take over? Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It couldn't be more plain. Thank you, Kazuma. Trying to make them look dumb to a thing. Spell it out would be an insult to the court. Kazuma with the defense. Kazuma, what? What are you talking about? It's apparent from a single glance at the photographic print presented by the defense that there's a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement. What? Sergeant yes, Sanosa. The name is killing me, man. To the point I'm coughing. Oh my god, that. I nearly choked. Got that. Oh god. Yes, sir. What, sir? The statement you just made was this. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes, sir.
Yes!
But no, that just can't be. And why not, cadet? Because... Oh my god, Naruto! Take a close look at the print. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Ah. Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? Oh my god! Oh my god! It's a baby behind him. God damn it. What the... What was that? Something just popped up from behind his back, but he pushed it down again. Certainly there's a clear discrepancy with the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant Nosa? You lying ficking weasel? Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were firmly fixated on the delicious La Carnival steak, sir, not steak. I mean, steak is also... Oh my god, I was thinking of S-T-A-K-E, but it's the same pronunciation. I'm an idiot. What? The last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant Yasanosa, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all. That's absurd. I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom. Damn, bro! Oh, holy shit, man. Oh my god. What is wrong? There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial just from that one discrepancy. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about. This ain't the thing, this ain't the thing, this ain't the title. But I definitely saw him. That university cadet there, he was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back. Yes! But I never fired the gun. And all I did was pick it up off the floor. And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either? Myself, I have already been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Oh yes, you were looking for a Kuban coin, weren't you? Indeed, the prize Hoi era Kuban. Hunting around under the table, I was, in case mayhap it had fallen there. And then it happened. You heard the gunshot, you mean? Indeed I did, but I heeded it not, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded Hoi treasure. I don't even know if it's the right pronunciation. Nothing could distract me. Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end? No. I see. That lamentable day, the precious Hoi Kuban was lost to me. No doubt some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for himself. It was him. It was Yasanosa! As I'm sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to the Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness testimony the court has just heard was inconclusive, no matter how subservient our government feels it must be to the British. It would be unforgivable. Oh my god, why would I fuck it up? It would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Ouchie? Very naughty, Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he will find a wolf at the back. What the fuck? My witnesses have further testimony to make. Explain. Upon hearing the next statement, it will become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could possibly have committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. What? He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? Very well, the court invites the witnesses to testify again. He will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Is that clear? As clear as Kiriko glass, Your Excellency. Yes, sir! At once, sir! Awaiting signal to testify, sir. Why do you have a baby? Excuse me, but there's something or someone peeking out over your shoulder, I think. Affirmative. The newest member of the Nosa family to rise up to the ranks, sir. Name Aido. Aido. Oh god. It would seem the straps are a sign of the sergeant being too strapped to afford a nanny. I do. Tension! Your father is about to quell the enemy. Watch and learn, my boy. Oh my god. These witnesses are so crazy in these games. The true culprit. Even if what I saw was in the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. No, it's not. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man he was, that young lad in black. That much I myself did see. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. No, there was a lady. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than the black uniform cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out. These testimonies are certainly compelling. Wait, that's nonsense. The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all. Please, enough of these outbursts already. But there was a woman, there was a young woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her. Objection! If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies. It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact. Is it the photographic print of the scene of the crime, counsel? Indeed, of the table at which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident. As can plainly be seen, there is only one place set. Certainly based on the appearance of this print, it would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else. Ugh, this doesn't make any sense. The court will add this new photographic evidence to the record. A bottle of carbonated water and a steak lunch can be seen on the victim's table. Okay. I don't understand. What's going on here? It's just not possible that nobody else saw that woman. Covering it up. The waiter before us said the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. That's not true. I saw her. I swear that I saw a woman with him. It would seem that we'll be unable to telegraph the report to Great Britain on time after all. The witness testimonies we have just heard leave no further room for doubt. These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh on the treaty with Great Britain. To think that I, Takashichi Auchi, will have contributed to the amity of these two great empires is an honor. How can this be? How can this be happening? The judge is ready to rule. Stand tall, Ryonosuke. It's not over yet. What? If what you say is true, then there's something going on here behind the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it, to draw out the truth in your cross-examination. I don't know, Kazuma. The defense is entitled to cross-examine the witnesses, but make it quick, understood? Rules can be so unbending at times. Ryonosuke sighs a lot, which I do as well. Let's press this.
Yes!
No, it's not the same thing at all. For a start, I didn't fire that gun. We have a difference of opinion on that. The opinion of a uniformed officer versus that of a fledgling cadet. I don't think so. Consider this, defendant. Just a moment ago, I blinked. What? Did you? Did you see it? Did you see me blink? How could I? And yet, it is an undeniable fact that I did blink. There you have it. What kind of analogy was that? Have what? Tension! The sound of the fireman rang in my ears. Not fireman. Firearm rang in my ears at the very next moment. I saw you waving the gun at the Englishman. I think that says it all, don't you? And let us not forget that the antique stealer witnessed the accused in his most incriminating position as well. Isn't that so, Korikura-san? He doesn't give a fuck, bro. Okay. Yes, it may be true that I was holding the gun at that point in time. But I've told you already, that's only because I picked it up off the floor. Well, obviously, as the culprit, that's the only way you could explain it away. I had just finished drinking my coffee and I was about to leave the restaurant when I noticed a gun on the floor at Dr. Wilson's feet, so I picked it up. In exactly that moment. Bang! A gunshot rang in my ears. Full of events beyond our control, life is. Sorry? What do you mean? In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated this testing predicament. Whereas conversely, I failed to pick up the command from the floor and find myself in an equally testing predicament as a result. Anyway, the fact remains, myself, I did see you. With pistol in hand, standing over the foreigner.
Yes!
You must have noticed someone else, Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there.
Objection!
As you have been at pains to point out time and again, I feel I'm not growing a callus in my ear. And yet, no one else appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman. Ugh, if only there had been more people dying there at the time, then someone else would have noticed her. Unfortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when it happened. The quiet time between lunch and dinner in any restaurant. I know, of course the place is almost empty. What we'd expect. Certainly 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of its time to eat. I wonder if there was a reason why the victim was eating at that time of day, and why he was alone. Yes, Your Excellency, there was indeed a reason. There was? This was found in the victim's jacket pocket. What is that, Counsel? It is a medical report card, Your Excellency. It would seem that the victim had an appointment at a clinic prior to visiting the restaurant. What a clinic? Yes, there would indeed appear to be an entry for the date in question. 19 November, noon to past 1 p.m. The very day of the incident. So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation couldn't be more simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence before, as it really has no bearing on the case. I wonder, what do you think, Renosuke? Well, it is hard to see how it could be related, really. Remember, you can request for it to be entered into the court record as evidence if you think it could be useful. Did I ask for Dr. Wilson's medical report card to be submitted as evidence or not? Obviously, get it submitted.
Yes!
If I may, I'd like to ask for that medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency. On what grounds? The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention that the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant are of no concern.
Objection!
Whether or not they are of concern is up to us to decide. We have a right to explore all possible avenues. I beg your pardon? You have no authority to refuse the perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Very well, the court will grant the defense's request. Youngsters these days are forever asserting their rights. The most disturbing trend. Shut the fuck up, old people. Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record. A medical report card from horror clinic that is found in the victim's pocket. I'm gonna look into that. What we need right now is new clues. We have to explore things from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first. Right, I hear you. You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you like. It's the day after the festival already for you. Or perhaps you've forgotten that these witness testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate for the accused, Korikuta-san. Okay, you know what? Let Let me look at the evidence. Hey, I can't read the clinic thing. What the fuck? Let's yes. So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Wilson, dining alone. That I did. Forgive me for the position I place you in. But the testimonies of the old man, the soldier, and the waiter all agree on that point. Isn't that interesting? Let us not forget the incontestable evidence we have to support their statements as well. As can clearly be seen, there's only a single beefsteak on the victim's table, a meal for one. No. Anti-stealer, the sergeant, and the waiter who testified before. It's not impossible that they're all lying. But if so, then why? I'm perfectly honest, I have absolutely no idea. Now let's press this. Yes! Why aren't you telling the truth? What? What did you just say, cadet? I clearly remember. There was a woman sitting across the table from the professor. Perhaps one of you might not have noticed. But for both of you to have failed to see the professor's dining companion, it's just not possible. Unfortunately for you, Defendant Alhodo, it's not just a case of these two witnesses alone. Sorry? The waiter, whose testimony the court heard earlier, clearly stated the same thing. He also said the victim was alone. That's right! Precisely, in other words, you are the sole proponent of the Phantom Lady, of this Phantom Lady. But if such a woman were indeed present at the scene, the prosecution demands to see proof. And if no such proof exists, the prosecution demands that no further mention of this phantom woman be made. It's a blatant waste of the court's time. There is nothing I can say to that. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. We have gleaned some new information now. Well, yes, but I don't feel like it changes much. Can't see that it brings any real discrepancies to light. I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see that medical report card you got before. Oh, you mean this? Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence. Perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. So partner, I think you should take a closer look at this medical report card. See if there isn't something new to be learned by examining it in more detail. Alright, I'll see what I can do. It says Horta Clinic on this medical report card. I hate clinics almost as much as I hate hospitals and surgeries. I 100% agree. I fucking hate clinics! I hate going to them and I have to go to one soon. And I'm fucking dreading it. Aren't they all the same? When I was 5, I caught the only cold I've ever had in my life. And remember, even though I felt awful already, I had to have this hideous injection in my right arm. I'll never forget it. Never in my whole life. Most people would give their right arm to have had only one cold in their whole life. Anyway, I don't think this is a clinic where they treat people for illnesses like that. Let's keep looking for clues. We don't want to miss anything. It looks like this medical report card was first issued quite some time ago. Probably a record of long-term treatment, that's why. With a family doctor, I imagine. I can't imagine going to a doctor, I mean. As long as I'm alive, I'm never consulting one. Well, if you were dead, there'll be no point. So you don't like doctors then? Why would you? They make you drink horrible tasting medicine. They give you painful injections. And then they demand lots of money from you for the privilege. All when you're at your lowest ebb. You sound like a model patient. The bad case of stubbornness, no less, for which the only cure is very bitter medicine indeed. Damn. Now we can check inside this. Let's have a look. Some kind of medical history. Ah, and there's an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. Extraction of molar? You mean he had a tooth taken out? It would seem so. Just before the incident, he had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps they used laughing gas. That's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Yes, I've heard of this anesthesia. Although it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you feeling pain. Ah, there's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours. Post-procedure until anesthetic effects have passed. No food or drink. Okay. Besides, that means that steak wasn't his because he couldn't eat it. Really? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. Okay, got it. Prohibited from eating or drinking anything but water. With this new information, the meaning of that one particular statement totally changes. So I think it's time we listen to the testimony again, don't you? Definitely. Let me present this information.
Yes!
Well, I think, about what are you withering, lad? Call yourself a lawyer? I wish I could, but first and foremost, here I am the accused. Renosuke. Everyone stumbles on their words occasionally. Under the circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, Kazuma. I could see it quite clearly in the cross-examination you just carried out. When you raised your hand straight up like that, so purposefully, you knew exactly what it was you wanted to say. Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking. Alright, and thanks for the advice. Oof. Kurikuta-san, this is the medical medical report card belonging to the victim. Ah, I see. And I don't see. What of it, boy? Comparing what is writing on this report card with this witness statement. Oh my god! Why can't we do the bang? Something clearly doesn't add up.
Objection!
Dear me, have you forgotten my words so soon, you amateur? Sorry, what? You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish drivel. But let's see if I can explain in words you might understand. It was after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. And whatever he may or may not have done before that time is completely irrelevant. No, it's not. But that's remember, Renosuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point. Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There's surely no need to prolong this trial further. The witness testimonies the court has heard have been clear and concise. This medical report card has no bearing on the matter at all, for the simple reason that there is no one else besides this pale-faced pupil who could possibly have perpetuated the crime. This medical report card has nothing to do with the case. Do you really believe that? Damn! What? The outburst half petrified me, boy. Of course I believe it. How could it possibly be irrelevant? Perhaps because Hota Clinic, which is issued the report card, is a dental clinic. A dental clinic? Is that supposed to mean something to me? Perhaps if I told you that the victim had just had a tooth extracted. What's this now? And furthermore, if I told you that as a result, the victim had been forbidden from eating. Ooh! Just what are you trying to say, cadet? He had orders not to eat? So what? It's all written up in here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure while anesthesia wears off. What? No, that can't be. Kurikuta-san. What, boy? What? As you just heard. When he was killed sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all. No. Additionally, there's more. You have assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. Yeah! Finally, but that cannot possibly be the case. Grr! Because the victim, as we now know, had just had one of his teeth extracted and was still experiencing the effects of the anesthetic. Ah! Expertly done, partner. Let's go.
Objection!
What? What is this nonsense, you little upstart? These are baseless accusations. Just look at this photographic evidence. You can clearly see the plate of food at the victim's table.
Objection!
Use your head. That's the very discrepancy we're talking about. Or can't you follow the logic? How dare you? I think it's fair to say that the tables in this restaurant case have turned. Oh yeah! Bro, oh my god. Wouldn't you agree, Ryunosuke? Yes, most definitely. So having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. Which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who in fact was eating the picture beefsteak? The court will hear the opinion of the defense on this new puzzle. I assume you're ready, counsel. It's the lady. Counsel? Oh, that means me, doesn't it? Alright, the answer to this question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of your turning this trial around. Show them what you're made of. Oh my god, I'm stuttering so much. Got it. So, person eating the steak at the victim's table must have been the victim himself. Me. The two witnesses. And an as yet unknown third party. Obviously, it could only have been someone else who was sitting at the professor's table. You will not let this go, will you? There was no such person. Yes. There was, because I saw her. When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything. Yet we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on his table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It's clear that these witness testimonies are unreliable. If the court decides to push through a ruling at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial, relentlessly. Kazuma, are you insane? You would take on the government? Don't worry, counsel. I have no issue with you. What do you mean? I have issue with them, those two witnesses in the stand. What? What are you talking about? They have demonstrated with evidence that the victim was not alone. So if it now turns out that the two of you deliberately lied when giving your testimonies, obviously you will be charged with perjury. Perjury? And since this is a murder trial, you will also be deemed complicit in the killing. Oh, complicit in murder? No! Yeah! Hold it! Negative! There was no mention of this at the tactical meeting. I was just following orders. That's right, as the man says. Just say you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they told us. Oh. What? What did you just say, Kurogura-san? Oh, no. You were just following orders? Now hold on, lad. Afusama. Say you never saw the gentlewoman. When you say gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim with the lady from overseas? What? That is why they don't want her to be mentioned in the court trial. What is the meaning of all this? These witnesses give false statements? Is this true, you pair? Just one simple slip of the tongue. How can that be a slip of the tongue? Are you kidding me? Yes or no, sir? Order, counsel, explain what is going on here. It's painfully clear now. You tried to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth. Absolutely not. The prosecution knows nothing of this. Oh, then who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut? That's classified. You're prepared to be tried as a conspirator to this murder, are you? You wouldn't. This can't be happening. Ryunosuke, judging from the way they're reacting to this, I'd say they were sworn to silence by someone considerable influence. However, I don't believe Aoichi had any idea about it. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there were only a handful of possibilities. It could only have been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. Well, any ideas about who might be behind this? If we can affirm who tried to silence these witnesses, then we can continue our pursuit. We need to name whoever it was that tried to make the witnesses keep their mouth shut. course, we need evidence before we make any firm accusations. Evidence that proves whoever it was really did wield his or her power here. But how? How can we possibly remember how we made progress before? We examined this piece of evidence in more detail and found a new clue as a result. Oh yes, that's right. Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We will need to re-examine everything and make sure that there's nothing we missed. It's the card. It's the card. There's something on the card. The waiter's card. There's no time to lose. I want answers. If it's proven that these witnesses have been manipulated, I assure you the penalty will be severe. Please, wait. Your Excellency! I had no idea about any of this. I swear to every Shinto god. I knew nothing. And what does the defense have to say about all this? Well, Your Excellency. No time to think. I'm just gonna have to close my eyes and shout out the first name that comes into my head. Besides the prosecution, the only person with the necessary influence to manipulate the witness is... I mean, the only person, it has to be him. Can't be anybody else. Look, there's something on his card, I didn't check.
Yes!
Well, surely that would be Satoru Hosonaga-san. Wait. Before you do the court record, I need to check it. Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga. I knew it, man. Something was there. Well, that's unexpected. What is? Look, do you see it says the witness's name here? Satoru Hosonaga. Well, yes, business cards do tend to show the person's name. That's sort of the point. Not the name that's unexpected, it's his job title. Job? Oh! Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Officer Bureau. Inspector? What on earth? I have no idea, but let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence. If they're wielding it somehow here... Okay, so it's Hosonaga is a police inspector. Nice. Hosonaga-san, the waiter who took the stand earlier?
Objection!
Poppycock! What the fuck is that? I don't even know what's that. What possible reason would have the waiter have to make these witnesses give false testimony? Not to mention that the fact that even a head waiter could not possibly have that level of influence. For once, I would agree with you. If, that is, the man truly were a waiter. What? If he truly were? Come on, Ryunosuke, time to hit this court with the truth. The truth about Satoru Hosonaga-san's real identity as proven by this evidence. Present!
Yes!
The plan of the restaurant sketched by the man in question? I agree it shows a great deal of attention to detail, but I'm not sure we can conclude anything. Sorry, Excellency, that's the back of the card. It's the back of the card that's of interest. I beg your pardon? Or perhaps I should have said the front? Yes! It's the front of the back of the card. That's where the telling detail is. Bro, just flip it, bro. Could have just flip it. Would somebody please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say? Hosonaga-san sketched the plan of the restaurant on the reverse side of his business card. I just saw Ryunosuke's face. The front of the business card reveals the man in question's profession. His true profession. The waiter's profession? That's surely... Good gracious! That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads, Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. What? The waiter is a police detective? I haven't heard any mention of this before. Why haven't I heard any mention of this before? The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power, absolute power, as far as regular citizens are... Civilians, same thing, are concerned. The witness is there in the stand. Was it in fact the waiter who gave you your orders? Was it he who told you not to mention that you seen this foreign gentlewoman at the scene? Well... Hold it! Ah! Inspector Hosonaga? I was worried something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized it was a possibility. court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well... Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. Yes, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card. I strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly. It's my guiding principle. But I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake. So you mean to say you really are a detective? But why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter? Undercover, probably. Ah, of course, your salary must be terrible. I was working undercover. Undercover? Yes, there have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents? That would be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case of homicide. Very well then, Inspector Hosonaga, but you will elaborate on one point for the court. Of course, Your Excellency. We have just heard new information from the two witnesses beside you. That at the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would also have been aware of this person's presence, having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner, therefore I am led to presume that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you required these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct? Correct, Your Excellency. Unbelievable! As I suspected. Bang! As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out of the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair and beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the same table was a young lady whom I guessed to be an English woman. The truth comes out. Immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the bureau. It was then that I received some special orders. Special orders, you mean to say? Remove the English woman from the scene at once. It was made clear that the English woman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders. But what if this English woman was the killer? I think it would be in everyone's best interest not to pursue that idea. Why not? The Empire views that friendly terms of its relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. An Englishman has been murdered on our soil. To name an English woman as the primary suspect, well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. That's the reason for the disappearance of the phantom woman in this case. But it's not right. Oh man, I'm stressed out already. Ooh. One possibility does spring to mind. What do you mean, Kazuma? Yume University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain, and I'm fairly certain that one of them studying in the medical faculty's research laboratory is a young English woman. What? You're a shrewd man. I can see why you're the chosen candidate for the overseas study tour. You mean... And I removed the woman from the scene of the crime? I thought it prudent to check her identity first. And the court demands that you name the lady in question at once, Inspector. The English woman sitting at the university professor's table was a certain Miss Giselle Brett. Giselle Brett. Is that some kind of pun? I can't figure it out. She's indeed a foreign student studying in the research laboratory of Yume University's medical faculty. What? What is happening here? I admit that under orders from the police bureau, I erased all evidence of this lady's presence at the scene. and ordered these witnesses to make no mention of her in their testimonies. It must now be up to Your Excellency to decide how to deal with the situation. Very well. My thoughts on the matter are as follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise. Namely, that the victim was dining alone. However, as we have now discovered that this premise is false, it would be a desecration of our justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling at this point.
Objection!
But, Your Excellency, that would mean missing the noon deadline of a ruling in order to send the telegraphic report to Great Britain. Our own government will surely be very displeased by such actions. Calm yourself, Counsel. I will not allow the government of our country or any other to influence the proceedings of my courtroom. Yo, base judge, base judge. Inspector Osanaga? Yes, sir? You will locate this Giselle Brett and escort her to the courtroom with the utmost urgency. At once, Your Excellency. But that means you'll be going against the special orders you were given from the police bureau. As I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly. So it won't be a problem. Nothing will get in my way. Let's go, Sanaga. Court will adjourn briefly. The prosecution must call the English student Giselle Brett to the witness stand. Do I make myself clear? Yes! Your Excellency! Oh my god. Good, then we will have a 30-minute recess before reconvening. Oh my god. To be continued. Oh my god. Let's continue. 22nd November, 11:38 AM. Supreme Court of Judicature. Defendants. Antechamber 5. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. That was superb. My heart was in my mouth the entire time. It was almost unbelievable. I mean, looking at you in there, you were drenched in sweat, your eyes popping, your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. It was a grim sight, but before I knew it, you started finding inconsistencies in the testimonies. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer. It runs in the family. I'm probably Phoenix's ancestor or something. Forget it, if it's terrifying if I get through this, I don't ever want to see the inside of a courtroom again. I think you spoke too soon, Ryunosuke. Ha 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 ha! Anyway, it looks like we have exposed a phantom lady at last. Miss Giselle Brett, a student from Great Britain. Is she? That's what I was trying to tell everyone from the start. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone. There was a young woman with him, like I've been saying all along. Yes, you have, haven't you? I might not be overly confident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are one thing I'm sure of. Yes, I can see that. So, how about this young gentlewoman? Thanks to a detective friend, she was hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. Did you see what happened with that? No, I didn't see any of it. I was just on my way out of the restaurant myself. Then, on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table, I noticed that there was a gun lying on the floor, and just after I bent down and picked it up, bang! I didn't have time to think about where the sound of the gunshot had come from. The waiter ran over to me, looking as white as a sheet, and he bundled me into some sort of small pantry next to the kitchen. Fast thinking by the detective, he apprehended his suspect without a moment's delay. Yes, and because I was shut in the pantry, I have no idea what happened outside of the dining area. And there you are. Well done, both of you. Mikotoba? Yep. Professor Mikotoba! Well, it seems I was right. The pair of you make an outstanding team. You exceeded my expectations, I have to say. Yes, it seems you planned this from the start. You arranged this thing so that I wouldn't be able to act as a lawyer in his trial. Our modern country is still in its infancy, our justice system even more so. This is why I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. I wanted to avoid a situation that might have resulted in your study from tour to Great Britain being cancelled. Well, it makes no difference. Lawyer or otherwise, if I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst crisis of this life, I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyway. What? What are you saying, Kazuma? So that's your stance. I was afraid you'd feel that way. Kazuma! Well then, it looks like it all comes down to you, young man. To me? Yes, you need to prove your innocence and uncover what really took place in that restaurant. I must say, I very much want to know the truth. After all, I have a personal connection to this case. Come to think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? If you don't mind me asking, Professor, do you know the victim? Yes, I did. As you're probably aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was a visiting professor at UMA. And it was I who visited him. Oh, I see. I didn't know that before. Anyway, you're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, and a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible. But let's not forget who we're going up against. The gentlewoman whose involvement our police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide. Yes, and I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. And I have no doubt that you pair will put up a good fight right to the last. Best of luck. Thank you. Now then, I need you to run an errand at the university at once. There's something I think we may need. Of course. Good luck, Kazuma-sama. Are they both into each other or something? Defendant Naruhodo! Court recess is over. Please make your way back inside the courtroom at once. It's time. Let's get back to it, partner. Let's go in there and deal a decisive blow before those old fossils know what's hit them. Kazuma? What? Thank you, really. What for? Well, if you hadn't said you believed me, then I'm fairly sure I already have been found guilty by now. Look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer and as a friend. Coming from you, that means a lot. If I'm found guilty in this trial, he's really going to give up on his dream of studying abroad. That's the kind of friend. That's the kind of true friend he is. This isn't just my battle anymore. Whoever we're up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. Alright then, I'll save the thank yous for after the trial. You can treat me to one of the sukiyaki meals I like from Yume Cafeteria on University Street. It's an extra large portion, of course. It's 2nd November, 12:09 PM. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 2. I must stop here. My throat is actually dying. It's gonna die. And if this gentlewoman of the British Empire is coming, my throat's gonna die even more.